Hi, everyone. Welcome to Career Conversations. I'm Meera Jogasundram. Our guest today is Myriam-Rose Kohn, President and founder of Reimagine Your Career Now. She is a multilingual career expert who went through two career transitions herself. This means that she brings more than just textbook theories to her program. She brings real life experiences and knows where the pitfalls and the fear lie. That's the reason she holds a client's hands until they reach their destination. They do not have to do it alone. In her, they have a confidante who has their best interest at heart. Her vision: ensure her clients get paid for work they enjoy doing, they're passionate about, which allows them to lead a harmonious and joyous life. Thank you so much for joining us, Miriam.
Thank you. It's my pleasure and my honor. Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you?
Happy Thanksgiving. I'm
Thank
fine.
you.
I'm
Good.
thankful you are here with us.
Thank you. So am I.
Miriam, tell us about your career journey.
My career journey. Well, uh, let me first say that I always dreamt of being a ballerina or a race car driver, which people always go,
Wow.
"What?" But neither materialized. However, as I got older, I wanted to be a teacher. And when I moved from Belgium to the United States, first of all, I had to earn my degrees here, and I self financed my education. I put myself through school or college, university, however you want to call it, by working 52 hours a week and carrying
Wow.
16 units in college. And I had to work Saturday and Sunday. And in those days, we went 5 days a week to college. So that meant my day off from work was Wednesday, and I had to go to school. So sometimes I would go 2 or 3 months without a day off. But I persevered because I had an objective in mind, and I did reach it eventually. And then what happened was I married, and my husband would not allow me to work. So I stayed home and raised my children till one day he came home at 5 p.m. Monday and said, "I'm out tomorrow morning. We're doing a trial separation." It was like 9 a.m. the next morning, he was gone. And so there I am with no
Wow.
job. And how am I going to pay the mortgage and how am I going to feed the children? So um, I went back to what I love first and found a part time job as a teacher just to start. I was a adjunct teacher, yes, first at the local junior college, and then um yeah, we're moving forward really quickly because that's not of interest so much to my audience, I think. I became an adjunct professor at university, and then I decided, in the meantime, my children had grown up, and I discovered I was really a nurturer and I love to educate. So I put the two together and decided to become a career coach. And it went step by step because when I first started, I opened my business because I only had part time teaching jobs. And it was everything with administrative support because in Belgium I was trained as an administrative assistant. And we had to do it in those days, everything obsolete now, shorthand typing in 4 languages, or we wouldn't graduate. So I started that with my business from what I knew. And then clients started to come to me and said, "Well, before the jobs always came to me, now they want me to submit a resume. Can you write me a resume?" Well, I said, "Not at the moment, but let me find out what this entails." So I joined the Professional Association of Resume Writers and became passed the exams, became certified. But the resume only gets your foot in the door, right? So then you have to learn how to ace the interview. So I became a certified employment interview professional to guide my clients as to how to ace the interview, the questions they need to pose, how to connect with the interviewer, which is 85% of the interview, and what to do when the interview derails, how to get back on track. And from them, I really got into career coaching as well because people at all levels had difficulties, the right company, but a bad boss or the wrong department, whatever the case may be. And so, moving forward, how to find a new job, we did job search strategies because a lot of people just fill out applications and wait to be called. And of course, that's not the way to be proactive. A lot more is involved in getting a new job search. So I decided after the pandemic to rebrand my company and find a new directions, doing everything I did before. And so I transitioned completely into the career aspect of my work and left when I moved from Southern California to Maryland and left the teaching behind um, for reasons I won't go into now, but I'm still teaching, except we call it educating. I educate my clients, right? And everything I said, I write resume and LinkedIn profiles. You have to do both today. You can't do one without the other to be effective, and or executive bios. And when really what I try to do is ensure, because all these years I've been a coach in the career realm, I had people miserable, but miserable in their work, and they would not leave for fear of losing their paycheck. And then what happens? You're miserable at work, you go home miserable, and you don't have a good family life, and you get rid of your partner instead of doing it the other way around. Get rid of the job, get one that makes you happy, and go home happy, right? If you do that, basically, I mean, I'm not a physician, but let's be clear. If you're happier at work, you have fewer headaches, you have lower blood pressure, means fewer diseases, right? You have a happier life all the way around. So, this is what I focus on with my clients when they come in to me at this point. Um, if they don't remember what they wanted to do, we do career exploration first. And with my clients who know what to do, we have been able to find them new positions, usually within 60 days or less. But it requires work. Don't think the jobs just come, right? It requires work. So that's where I'm at now. I'm bringing all I learned along the way, because when my ex came home and said they're leaving tomorrow morning, that was panic time. How am I going to pay the bills, right? And so there was a lot. It took almost, for me, on my own, 9 years, because people weren't doing yet in those days what we all do today. And you have to be kind of careful because the market is saturated today with a lot of coaches, but not all of them are well trained. Just like anybody who can put up a shingle, not all of them are trained, and you have to keep up with the changes, right? The I'm sorry, I'm just going on and on. Did you want to pose a question, Mira?
That's okay. No, your story is fascinating. Now,
Oh,
I'm interested about your career transitions. What
yeah.
would you say was the main reason or dominant reason for you to make those transitions? Was it need? Was it passion? Was it interest? Or was it something else?
Well, it was a need, first of all, because the education world, at least here in the United States, is just horrendous, horrendous. And they put a lot of unnecessary stress on the educators. And it's not possible because the type of student that comes in today is not when you and I were growing up, Mira. We were respectful to the teachers. There's very little of that left. And you have to do student learning outcomes. But if the student doesn't want to learn, then what do you do? And then it comes back to you. So there was the need. I need to get out of there. Too much stress. Do you know that once I stopped teaching, this is true, my blood pressure went down from 173 to 119
I
within two
believe
months,
you.
without medication, without anything. Just stop teaching. That's how stressful that job had become. And I love to teach. So I took my passion of educating and helping others, nurturing, as I said, and I put it into my career coaching, my career clients, whether
We can't hear you, Miriam. I think we've lost the sound. We can't hear you. I think the mic is disconnected or muted. I think you adjusted something on the keyboard. We can't hear you. Maybe you'd like to disconnect the.
what happens if I
Oh,
do.
yes, I can hear you now. I
Okay,
can hear.
good, good.
Okay, right.
Oh, that's
We
terrible.
lost you. We lost you for a moment there.
All
Now,
right.
coming back to your career transitions,
Yes.
how much resistance did you experience, if any?
Oh, I experienced a lot of resistance along the way, especially because I didn't come from a corporate world, but an education world. And so I found that my colleagues who had been in corporate world were doing a lot better than I. Um, so I had a lot of resistance along the way, but I did a lot of networking so people could get to know me. And with the success I've had with my clients, plus the fact that my work has been published in more than 35 books, plus careerjournal.com, which is the business side of the Wall Street Journal, gave me a lot of credibility. So I did have a lot of resistance and then came it by doing a lot of networking, writing, trying to get more and more speaking engagements so people could get to know me. Plus, my own clients are my advocates. It's wonderful. They pass my name around, and so this is wonderful. Yes. So
What would you say? What would you say were the challenges when you were making those transitions? Challenges, obstacles?
the visibility, greatest obstacle. Uh, since the pandemic, the employment landscape has changed so much. We had to start anew, and I know I don't have to say it, but I'm going to anyway. I mean, resume writing today is nothing what it was when I first started. And so, and it keeps changing almost by the year, what the requirements are, because when you write a resume, you have to address your prospective employer's needs. You have to differentiate yourself from the other candidates. Plus, you have to pass the applicant tracking system known as ATS. If you don't have those three things going for you, if you don't pass that applicant tracking system, nobody's going to call you unless you have somebody inside the company where you'd like to work and they can put in a good work for you. Or you have a good referral network who put in a good word for you here and there. So that's one of the important things to go when you choose a resume writer is to have somebody who belongs to an organization.
We lost your sound again.
Has this?
Yes, yes, that's fine. That's fine. No, now I can't hear you again. It's
Has that?
okay, that's fine.
Okay.
That's
I
fine.
don't want to lose you. I want
No,
to
no,
share.
no. just just
I-
stay just stay as still as you can. I'm sure our viewers will
okay, I'm doing my
understand.
best. It's hard.
I lost you. I lost you.
Oh dear.
Okay,
Has,
now I can hear you.
there's
This is like
something
a
here in
game.
this connection.
Okay. Now, I'd like to ask, how did you overcome the challenges such as visibility, putting yourself out there?
First of all, a tremendous belief in myself. Even when everybody else said no, I knew deep down that I was on the right track. I was on, on the track of doing what I was supposed to be doing, which is helping other people.
If you don't mind, could I just probe a little bit further, a little bit deeper, and ask, how
Sure.
do you know that you were on the right track? Because
You
many
know,
people
a
struggle
feeling
with that.
inside. It's a feeling inside. I don't know how else to say it. For me, I knew this is what I wanted to do. So
Okay.
I stayed true to myself. And that's very hard to do, when you have very little income and you have bills to pay. um, yeah, so I just knew deep down that I was on the right track when everybody else told me no. Now, you have to understand, this is a feeling I developed early on because I was born right after World War II. My family had been eradicated. It was just my parents, my brother, and me. I can't tell you how strange it is, like today on Thanksgiving when I go someplace and there are 15, 20 people around the table. We could have never done that. We didn't have the people. So this feeling of perseverance and believe in yourself was instilled in me early on. And so I always listen to my intuition. It has never led me astray. If the few times I didn't listen, I was very sorry. So it's the only way I can explain it to you. It's a true belief in yourself deep down in you.
That is beautiful, Miriam, because many nowadays, many struggle following their intuition, listening to their intuition, or even following what they are good at, what's second nature to them.
Right.
So it takes a lot of resilience,
Resilient.
perseverance,
Yes.
determination,
Hmm.
and it comes, those are good things. Those make you stronger. They prepare you for the future. I've lost you. I can't hear you. Okay, viewers, while Miriam figures that out, I'd like to highlight the important takeaways that we have learned from her. If there is a calling within you to pursue a certain path in your career, to pursue something that is second nature to you, to pursue something that you can shine in and you can be good at, please listen to your intuition and pursue it with determination. Miriam, do you have your volume back? I can't hear you. And viewers, if you'd like to find out more about what Miriam does and how she can help you, or just how you might want to get in touch with her, all the details are in the description attached to this post. I think she's getting there.
Now,
Okay, great. Congratulations.
thank you. Technology is not my
Congratulations.
strong suit, but
Okay.
forget. I apologize to everyone. I'm
Mm,
sorry. I don't know what
not
I.
at all. Not at all.
Thank you.
So you
Yes,
were saying that your trust in your intuition, your
I believe in
resilience,
myself.
your perseverance, your determination,
Hmm.
how important is it, Miriam, to follow your calling, for one to follow his or her calling?
Absolutely crucial.
Why?
Absolutely
Why?
crucial. Because that's where, once you reach your destination, this is when you can start having your harmonious and joyous life, right? You're doing what you always wanted to do. Now, saying that, you can't be a doctor overnight or an architect overnight. But let's see, you can have an example of I had a client who wanted to be a motorcycle race driver. Okay. But by the time he left that world. But by the time he got to me, he was married, had two children. You know very well his wife was going to tell him, no, you're not doing that. But and he worked inside. And when he brought me a collage once, it was all about pictures outdoors. I said, why are you working inside when you want to be outdoors? Well, blah 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 blah. Okay, long story short, we found him a position in the aftermarket of the motorcycle world, and he was working at a motorcycle racetrack. Who's to say those young motorcycle drivers wouldn't let him race once in a while? Nobody needs to know. But he was in the environment that made him thrive and really made him happy. So you see, it's never too late. It's never too late. It's not about what this is. As bad as the pandemic was, what came out of it for the employment market is that anything is possible today. The latest statistics, which came out late July this year, 2023, said that 85% of the positions or jobs that would be available in 2030, we're now 6 years away, right? Do not even exist today. So think about the possibilities, the flexibility, if you have it, don't be rigid. Something will always come to help you along. I know I'm going woo woo, but it's not. I've discovered this time again and again. I mean, when my ex left, I had nothing, not savings because he didn't allow me to work, nothing. He had me completely under his thumb, and I survived. I made it. So can other people.
What would you say to someone who says or who has the limiting belief that pursuing your passion is not a practical thing to do? It will
Well,
not pay my bills. It will not feed me. What would you say to someone who has that belief?
then start getting a position where you earn some money but continue to pursue your path. I understand having to pay bills. So if you have to go and work at a grocery store to make, put food on the table, then that's what you do. But you continue to pursue the path you were meant to go on. Always perseverance.
Because it's
It's
so important to be authentic at all times and to be absolutely true to yourself.
right, just for your own well-being, right? I touched my mic. Can you still hear me?
I can hear
Oh,
you.
thank goodness.
Miriam is terrified. Okay, Miriam, we'll move on to the next question,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
What would one have to look out for when
Yeah.
deciding on a resume writer?
Okay. First of all, I don't say everybody who's not certified is not good, but if you work with a certified professional resume writer, either through the Professional Association of Resume Writers here in the States or the National Resume Writers Association or Career Directors International, anyone who belongs to anyone or more of these organizations is great. I also belong to Career Thought Leaders, and it's a wonderful organization because we have people in various industries and we all keep each other up to date as to what is going on. Because remember, I said you have to address your prospective employer's needs too, right?
Yeah.
Besides differentiating yourself from the other candidates, and you don't even know who they are. So, that, if I may take a tangent here for a moment, uh, I'm sorry, let me back up. These people who belong to the organizations get updates monthly updates as to what is going on, what we have to watch out for, what we have to guide, what we need to guide our clients with. And here, if I may, now I'm going to go on a tangent. Go be very careful of that chat GPT because everybody says, oh, it can write my resume. And now, I'm good to go. I don't need to hire anybody. No, no, no. Because ChatGPT doesn't know you and ChatGPT doesn't know your prospective employer. So how is it going to write an effective resume? Because if it doesn't know you or what they're looking for, you're going to miss some keywords that are necessary to pass the applicant tracking system. So be very careful. It's okay to ask it to change a sentence or improve it or a paragraph if you want, but it cannot write your resume for you. It's missing too many elements, right? So just want to be careful of that. Also, the big resume mills, be careful of those because to them, they just do a format, they just want your money. They do not give you the assistance you need, not only require, but you need, the guidance you need. it's not what they do. You're better off working with individual certified professional resume writers.
And how might one look or approach a certified professional resume writer?
Well, you look in the organizations, and sometimes they specialize in certain areas, like IT. Technology is not the same as somebody who's an attorney, and writing briefs and whatnot, who are getting published. So, it's a totally different thing. So, you need somebody who at least knows something about what you do. They don't
About
need
the
to know
industry
everything.
as well.
Yes. Excuse me, please. But as a resume writer, I don't need to know it's not possible for me to know everything about every single one's field, right? So I know what I need to pull out of the client to make him stand out in the resume. But some of them may have to educate me a little bit about what their job consists of. You know, it's just like you can't tell me you're an engineer. Okay, electrical, mechanical, you know, um, I don't know. You tell me. And is it aeronautical? Do you deal with planes? Do you deal with cars? Not the same things you have to pull out, right? Same thing with attorneys. What kind of litigation do they do if they litigate at all? Some attorneys don't litigate. And neither into contract law, family law, whatever. Just a couple of examples, many more things in engineering. I'm just trying to explain. I don't
So,
have to know everything about everything that they do. They may need to educate me a little bit. My job is to um, bring out what it is that differentiates them from the others.
of course, of course. So, if a lay person goes in search of a certified professional resume writer,
Hmm.
where would this person ideally start?
With the organizations. As I said, there are three professional, and actually there are four now. The Professional Association of Resume Writers, the National Resume Writers Association, so PARW, NRWA, they are .org, I believe. Career Directors International,
So,
CDI.com.
these are not US, just for the US, they
No,
are international.
you will find international writers among them. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
How
I
about,
belong to them, but I do, Western Europe is my specialization. So I can do that. But I have colleagues like in Singapore and Korea and China and South Africa and Kenya and Nigeria right now who can help me. And the reason I'm mentioning those countries is because there's beginning to be a tremendous exodus of African American people who are moving away from the United States to Africa. They're making it very attractive for them, as well as Central and South America.
okay. So, would you recommend, apart from what you've suggested, would you recommend social platforms like LinkedIn?
Well, LinkedIn is very important. As I said before, you need a resume and a LinkedIn profile. But it's when you use LinkedIn, you use it to start by engaging with people, right? It's not, hey, I'm so and so, I need a job. Can you help me? That's totally out.
No, in search of a resume writer
In
via
search of a
LinkedIn.
resume writers, yes, I'm sure, because the organizations are on LinkedIn as well. Absolutely. And start by following and looking at some of them before you make a decision. And there's nothing wrong with talking with people and kind of interviewing the writer, him or herself, right? So you can do that to see if there's an affinity there. It's important because you have to trust the person and you have to be able to work well together. And if it's somebody who's just going to brush you off, who's just in it to write the resume and bye bye, that's not the person you want.
Would you suggest that they look for a resume writer unique to their region or their country?
That's not specifically necessary. However, saying that, you have to know that resume writing for the United States is different than for the rest of the world. Because in the United States, you have to be in your face truly. In a, you have to use a
Tell
lot of
us more about that. Tell us more about in your face.
in your face means you have to look. You have to use a lot of active verbs, and it's I did this, I did that, without using the word I. You know, whereas for some other countries, it's more of a team effort. Unless you get in more executive levels, then you can be more personal and stand out with your personal achievements. But you use nouns, substantives, I should say, rather than verbs mostly. Yes, and
Okay.
they're not as, and they don't tend to be long either, unless you do something that's crucially important. Then you can go past 2 pages. Where here in the States, they have a minimum on that.
Okay, Miriam, why would one need the help of a job search strategist?
It gets you to your next job a lot faster because, just like the resume writers, they need to keep up with what's going on in the market. And so they can advise their clients better. They can watch out, tell them about what to watch out for in certain areas. Um, I don't have specific examples at hand right at the moment, but it's, that it's so ironic that right now they have the diversity, equality, and inclusion,
The
the EI,
DEI, yes.
so important right now, and yet look what's going on outside of the business world. So it's kind of strange. You have to be careful with that. And just like when you want to work abroad or come to the United States, you have to be careful. No, not careful, but you have to learn about adaptability and acculturation. And it's the same thing. People are going through that with the DEI right now a lot too. So you need somebody to be able to guide you, because this will help you get through the interview as well, right? Is how you answer certain questions and how to approach certain movements that are going on. So with a job search strategist, that he or she can help, as well as say, well, right now, there's a lot of activity in this sector or that sector. Is there anything that interests you? And get you there faster using your existing skills and transferring them to the new platform.
So what you're saying is, in essence, the job search strategist reduces the time required to secure a suitable job.
Right. So you see, for
Okay.
me, like I had some people in some esoteric fields, as it were, and they say that for every $10,000 you want to earn, it takes 1 month. So let's say $60,000 takes 6 months. This particular client I had was in the $100,000 area, the six.
Your volume. I can't hear you. Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Oh, I've lost you again. I've lost you again.
I, I don't know
I can
why.
hear you now. I can hear
Okay, I'm
you
gonna
now.
hold it like this, see if that helps.
Okay. Okay.
So as I was saying, I'm so sorry, everyone, that the six figure person, instead of 10 months, it took 2.5 months. So just think about the money it saved of you not being working or being out of work, the money you did not earn, the money you could not put in your retirement, the more savings you had to go deep into, right, to survive till you got the job, makes a big difference. So even that person you pay to help you, the job search strategist or the resume writer, whatever it is, you gain back within, especially at that level, when you're the first 2 days on work. You've already made that money back, right? So that's why it's important to work with someone who knows what he or she is doing.
I know that you talked about Chat GBT and all that, but um, from a global perspective,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
What impact do you think AI has on your profession?
Oh, I think
Chat
it's just.
GPT is just one aspect.
I think for the profession, it can help us. as professionals when we get stuck once in a while. Not to have it write everything, but it can give you some ideas, or it can rephrase certain things. That's one side. That's the positive side. The negative side is the people out there think that it can replace us, and it cannot, because of the items I said before, right? It doesn't know you, it doesn't know your employer. So it cannot be effective for you. So there are, you have to keep those three things in mind. And the most important is, if you don't pass the applicant tracking system, nobody's going to call you for an interview. And if I still have a moment for this, I want to say that many companies, the larger companies, are now using AI to do the initial interview. And at first, and one looks like a little robot. I've seen her. Her name was Sophie. And she asks your name and all, and people think it's cute and they laugh. And what they don't realize is that even through the internet, that robot can sense whether you're nervous or not, how many times you blink to tell whether you're lying or not.
Oh
Because
dear.
yeah, they used to use graphology for that, right? And then I know it did quite a bit in Western Europe, not so much here in the States, but it's going to be harder and harder for you to lie if you're a person who doesn't always tell the truth when you go on an interview.
So Sophie can do all this.
Yes, I think she's evolved. I think they have also other robots now, but the one I saw was Sophie when she did it. So yes, so
Okay.
AI is coming now into the.
I can't hear you. That's okay. Miriam, we'll close off now. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all your input, your views, a wealth of experience. Thank you for sharing your story for the benefit of all our viewers. We really enjoyed having you here. Right. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a lovely Thanksgiving. Viewers, thank you so much for joining us. Till we meet again.